You need to understand that if the narcissist says, I love you, and then he's cheating on you, you know what you are? You are just a booty call. You are just someone that he's calling up to get back with, and he's using the words, I love you, to be able to get that information, to be able to get that high, to be able to get that control, to be able to get that manipulation over you. And we see this over and over and over again. If he's saying, I love you, but he's cheating on you, he doesn't love you. He doesn't care. Have you been in a situation where he said, I love you, but then he cheated on you? Maybe you struggle to understand why and how this person could even do this to you. Like, how does this make sense of why this person could actually look you in the eyes and say, hey, I love you, and then they go out and cheat on you, betray you in that way? Maybe you're trying to understand, how do I actually cope with this? How do I actually move forward with these two opposing thoughts of this person saying that they love me, but then showing the exact opposite? One of the things we're going to talk about today is that narcissists can be really confusing, really contradictory when it comes to expressing their emotions, when it comes to expressing what's actually happening, and when it comes to just straight up communication. Oftentimes it's not straight up and it doesn't actually happen. One of the most confusing situations that people go through is when the narcissist is cheating on you and they're actually saying, I love you. Like when they go back and forth and you're like, I don't understand. How does this even make sense? So we're going to talk through some of the aspect of what it means when a narcissist says I love you, but then sleeps with someone else. How to actually cope and work through some of this behavior and strategies for healing and moving forward. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness about narcissistic abuse, to help people see the destructive nature that it has on a day-to-day basis, how it's destroyed a lot of things in my life, and how I've worked to be able to show other people what it actually has looked like, what it looks like now, and how to heal from it. And besides awareness, I also work on helping people grow, heal, and change and develop into the version of themselves that they want to be. Not the version that they used to be, because after abuse, that typically is gone. But a newer version of you that is not broken, that is not fractured, that is able to move forward and stand in confidence as a beacon of light for yourself, for your kids, for other people in your life. That's what we're looking for. And that's what we help develop on a daily basis. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you can go to rawmotivations.com. We'd love to be able to work with you there. If you're interested in starting off in one of our courses, escapetoxicity.com is our 7-day challenge for $7. Lifetime access to the community, doing daily assignments, working together to help you heal and move forward. Okay? So when we talk about this aspect of narcissists and saying I love you, but sleeping with someone else, what does that actually mean? How does that actually make sense? Two polar opposites, right? This piece of two polar opposites talks through the aspect of cognitive dissonance, which if you're struggling with cognitive dissonance, which typically along the lines is the easy way to explain it of, do I believe his words or do I believe his actions? Which do I actually believe? If you can't reconcile with either one, then you come up with a third option that just makes you exist in the moment but keeps you immobilized and you don't actually get free. Cognitive dissonance is one of the cogs of the whole wheel of the trauma bond that leaves you stuck in a toxic relationship thinking this is not a good relationship, but I don't want to leave. But I need to stay. But this is my soulmate. All these different things that keep you trapped for a long period of time. So when the narcissist says, I love you, but then cheats on you, it's very, very confusing and is very, very hurtful. Okay? It's important that you understand, first off, the narcissist a lot of times does not care about you. Now, I know I'm like shifting just slightly, but I need you to bear with me for a second, okay? The reason why you think they care about you is because they're saying the same words in the same language that you talk. But however, as they're saying the same words, they don't mean the same thing. So you need to sit back and you need to understand that the concept of narcissist love is very different than your version of love. You're not sure how to be able to see that or understand that? Maybe ask the narcissist, what is your definition of love? What does it actually look like? How do you love me? That's a huge one. You get to the place where you ask the narcissist, hey, how do you love me? And he's like, well, I love that you love me. I love the things you do for me. I love how beautiful you are. I love how cute you are. I love the thing. And it all goes back to them. You'll see this. Like it's incredible. You'll see this when you ask, hey, what do you love about me? You'll see stuff change. Because the love and the version of love that you have in your life is different than the version of love than what he has in his life. And until you understand that you guys are on two separate pages about love, you're not going to be able to reconcile some of the concepts that we're going to talk about here. So part of this is understanding that a narcissist version of love doesn't have anything to do with your version of love. Okay? Part of a narcissistic version of love is simply about control, manipulation, and validation. Those three things. How much do I control another person? How much do I manipulate them to get what I want in the situation? And how much do you support me in what I want in the moment? Like, all these things are a piece of what a narcissist views love to be. Now, for me specifically, love was control. That's what it was. Like, if I had control over you, then that showed that I loved you. If I had control over you, then that showed that I cared about you, that I was protective, all these different pieces. But love was control. And this is how I broke down a lot of relationships. This is how I lost a lot of friendships and relationships, because I viewed it as like, if I'm controlling, then I'm loving. That broke a lot of people down. So this is where you have a narcissist that says, hey, I love you, and it keeps you hooked. We talked earlier about the future faking, keeps you invested. Like, this idea of like, I love you keeps you stuck. But their actions show that they don't actually care about you. This is the hard thing to reconcile in a lot of people's minds, because they're like, but he said he loved me. And I'm like, okay, but how did he demonstrate love? Well, and there's normally like a pause. The person thinks about it for a while, and then I don't think he did. And we see this happen over and over, where people start to focus on the words so much that they ignore the hand that's slapping them. They focus on the positive thing of like, I love you, and they ignore that the partner's cheating on them. We see it over and over again. And so this is what happens of like, cheating ends up being a way to get a temporary high, a temporary feeling of being in power and being in control over another person. So a narcissist is going to do that. But the definition of love is completely different than what you're going through. Okay? I was working with a client. We'll call her Sarah. Okay? And she was in a relationship with a narcissist who would frequently say, I love you. Like, would text it all the time, would say it all the time, but then he'd ghost her. Like, he'd like disappear for days, sometimes even weeks at a time. One day she finally got to the place where she found out that he'd been cheating on her with multiple people. Not just one, but multiple people. This produced a huge piece of like devastation and confusion in her life of like, how does this make sense? Like, he said he loved me, but he's doing all these things. So we started to work together to help her understand that like, her partner's idea of love was completely different than her own. Did it make it feel better in the moment? No. We talked through more of her healing, but in the moment it made her understand, wait a second, what I'm viewing as love, this person doesn't. This person doesn't care the same way that I care, and back and forth. So moving to the second section, how do you actually cope with this behavior? Like, what does this actually look like? Because dealing with a narcissist who says I love you and cheats is very challenging. It's important to be able to step back and kind of understand the difference, like we just talked about, but then to be able to prioritize what is actually real in the relationship and what you can change. And the only thing you can change is you. So many people get stuck on the fact of like, maybe I can change the narcissist. Maybe I can focus on changing their behavior, making them stop cheat, making them actually love me. And you have to understand like, that's a choice that they're already making. So you have to step back and you have to prioritize your own well-being and take steps to protect yourself from that current harm and from further harm. A lot of times it's going to look like how you actually set boundaries with the narcissist, how you get support from friends and family, how you end the relationship altogether. Because you have to get to a place where you're prioritizing you over letting someone else just continue to use and abuse you. You get to the place where you need to understand that if the narcissist says, I love you, and then he's cheating on you, you know what you are? You are just a booty call. You are just someone that he's calling up to get back with, and he's using the words, I love you, to be able to get that information, to be able to get that high, to be able to get that control, to be able to get that manipulation over you. And we see this over and over and over again. If he's saying, I love you, but he's cheating on you, he doesn't love you. He doesn't care. There's not a person out there that can say, I love you, and cheat on you at the same time and actually mean it. Because at the end of the day, it's a choice. It is an unloving choice to cheat on another person. Okay, so you need to be able to understand that. So we have to focus on building up your self-esteem and your self-worth, because a lot of times after you've been cheated on, it's going to destroy you in a lot of different ways. We have to work on helping move you forward. Like when Sarah went through this whole concept of like seeing him say I love you and then seeing the exact opposite, she got to the place where she ended the relationship and she was struggling. She was stuck in the trauma and she didn't know how to get out. So we started working together. She joined one of our communities to help move her forward in that healing process. Like, she started attending the NARCAP. She started going to some of the live events. She started getting involved in Clarity Challenge moving forward. Like, all these different things helped her actually move forward into the aspect of understanding where she was at and how to actually heal from it. So when we talk about healing from it, it's a process. There's not a quick fix destination you're going to arrive at and it's going to be all good. Okay, it's possible with the right strategies, with the right support. That's what we try to provide. We take you through a healing journey and to a growth mindset. The whole point of the healing journey is helping you heal the trauma bond, break out of the trauma bond, break through the rumination cycles that's happening over and over and over again where the narcissist is living rent-free in your mind, and get to the place where you understand who you are. Then we can start focusing on the growth mindset of you learning and becoming confident, having clarity, having certainty in who you are and the direction that you're going, helping you achieve your goals, your vision, your values. It's what we do inside a Thriver community every single day. Like, the things we put together help you get free, help you move into a place where you can have confidence and certainty in who you are. We've worked with a lot of different people in the Escape Toxicity Challenge, moving into the Clarity Challenge, moving into the Thriver community, because the whole goal is to help take you through a healing process and help move you into a place where you can actually accomplish the things that you're trying to accomplish. And taking you to the steps of understanding you're no longer the person that the narcissist painted you out to be. The beat down person, the person that doesn't have the confidence to be able to move forward, doesn't have the confidence to be able to excel in business, to have good relationships, to engage with family. All of these things we help people every single day work for and work to a place of confidence, clarity, being healthy and whole. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, you can go to rawmotivations.com. Would love to help be a part of your healing journey. If you're interested just in starting and understanding more about narcissism, go to escapetoxicity.com. You can click on the link down below to start it off. 7-day challenge for $7 to help you understand what's going on, what it looks like, and how to start progressing to the next level of your healing.